You know what time it is? It's time for Let's Talk with Eva. This is where we overthink life, try to make sense of adulthood, and occasionally drop some wisdom by accident, of course. If you are into deep talks, random rants, and figuring out adulthood one step at a time, you're in the right place. You know what? Let's get into it. Hey, you. Tonight is one of those nights, and I'm saying tonight because I'm back recording. But by the time you would probably listen to this, the whole situation might have gone away. But tonight is one of those nights. I can't sleep, so I'm feeling cranky because I've been trying to sleep all afternoon. To no effect. And then these dogs are barking. Anyways, today I want to talk about a topic that it seems like I'm always talking about. Can these dogs just shut up? I feel like I'm always talking about this topic every time, and that's because it really means a lot to me. The topic is boundaries. Come to realize that I started enjoying the topic boundaries or learning about boundaries when my dad was reading this book called Boundaries, and they would sit us down and talk about boundaries, what it means, setting your limits, not accepting some things. But I was too young to understand then, or my understanding of boundaries was not as enlightened as it is now. Currently, I'm still learning about setting boundaries and saying no to things and people and situations I don't find myself comfortable with. But it's getting better. So, there was this time when in uni where I was always engaged. I was always putting myself in situations and events, and as I'm not really sure if I was being extroverted or introverted, because it's like my personality when I started uni and my personality now are strangers. But I always wanted to be involved. I'm a church girl. I was a church girl. Just wanted to go to church, serve. That was everything for me. Just serve. So if I see an opportunity to volunteer my skills, my abilities, you'd find me there. Eventually, it got to a point where I was always volunteering, and even when I knew it was not convenient for me, you would still find me there doing those things, knowing fully well it was not convenient for me, but I just could not say no without looking bad. I felt like I was wasting my skills and my talents and my abilities if if I said I was not going to do something, or I was going to come off as being proud because some people were relying on my skill. I'm not indispensable. I've learned that, and even if I was good, there's always somebody better. Second lesson, but that's not where we're going. Eventually, I began to burn out. I began to resent even the things that I love. And it got to a point where currently I struggle with going to church because the church entity has some bad memories for me, especially when it comes to service and tripping you into feeling and looking like a bad person when you refuse to do something. I eventually learned how to set boundaries and draw the line with people and activities, but it came at a cost. It already cost me a lot, and it was probably too late, which is one of the things I regret the most about uni, being engaged in a lot of activities. Now, yes, it was church activities, but at what cost? So Saying yes when you actually want to say no and feeling guilty for prioritizing yourself is one crazy, it's just so crazy. And we've been conditioned to think that we're being selfish. In fact, people would say you're being selfish when you say, you know what, this thing is not working out for me. I'm not doing it. So when you say no to what people expect you to say yes to, you are selfish. But are you really selfish? Why is it so hard to say no? Why do we feel like we owe people access to us 24/7? And most importantly, why do we feel bad for just wanting some peace? Truth is, boundaries is not about shutting people out. It's about protecting your space, your energy, and your mental health. But for some reason, we've been conditioned to believe that having boundaries make us selfish. Whereas it doesn't. The same people call you selfish for having boundaries also have boundaries. They are the same people that you cannot have access to 24/7. So they are fine being the bad person, but they don't want you to be that person. Talk about being hypocritical. Boundaries is not just about other people, it's about me recognizing my limits and respecting them first. I believe people would not respect you if you don't respect yourself. So if you don't respect your limits, nobody will respect it. So you set the pace, you set the picture of how you want to be treated. So if you treat yourself like trash, people would most definitely treat you like trash. Now, what exactly are boundaries? Boundaries are guidelines that are set, or boundaries are guidelines you set for how you want to be treated, what you're willing to tolerate, and what you're not available for. It's like having a no entry sign for certain behaviors, except, of course, people still try to, jump the fence. Why do we feel guilt? Guilt comes from conditioning, especially if you grew up in a culture where saying no was seen as disrespectful. People pleasing tendencies make us feel responsible for how others react to our boundaries, but their reaction is not really our responsibility. I mean, yeah, we say for every action you get a reaction, but if I'm prioritizing myself, how you choose to respond is your responsibility. I did not respond for you. I did not make that decision for you. So there's just this, mindset about seeming disrespectful, especially when it's with an older person, seeming disrespectful, older people in position of authority. I mean, I could just have said, you know what, I'm not coming for this event because I don't feel well, or whatever, or I'm not just coming. I don't have to give you a TED talk on why I'm not coming, or record a podcast to tell you I'm not coming. It's me, my outing and all of that. But I could not, because I didn't want to offend somebody that was in authority, even if the person was technically my age group. But because of that authority and, conditioning to see people, regardless of their age or size or position, once they're in a position of authority, you have to treat them with respect. I thought I was being respectful, but I was hurting myself, and I hurt myself so bad. And if I could go back in time, honestly, I would not put myself in a lot of situations. Even if things like that came up, I would just walk away. Recently, I was having a conversation with a friend about something I just did not want to do anymore. And it was looking as if, oh, you're being selfish. I just said I'm not comfortable doing this thing. If you have a problem with it, I don't know who you are going to take it up with, but it's definitely not me, because the person that is doing it, I'm saying I am not comfortable doing this thing anymore. So why are you getting upset? If it was the me of before, I would have just said, I'm not comfortable, but you know what? I could manage. I could, find a way around it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not comfortable is I'm not comfortable. If it's not working out for me, it's not working out for me. I mean, people would, like I said, not put themselves in situations that's not working out for them, but they expect you to do that to yourself. If you don't want, if you don't want somebody to be in your space 24/7, let them know you are not available for that kind of energy. You don't have to have some conversations if you are not ready for it. You don't have to work 24/7 if you don't have the capacity for it. Like, your job does not own you. So just because someone has access to you does not mean they deserve it. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your energy. There's a thin line between having boundaries and being selfish, really. But let's try to find a balance. We are not doing this thing to hurt another person. You're doing it to take care of yourself. And yes, sometimes you might have to go out of your space. You might have to go out of your comfort zone just to make allowance for certain people in your life because they are that important to you, but not at the expense of hurting yourself or losing yourself. So if saying no feels too harsh, then you can try to rephrase where I can't commit to that right now, or I would love to, but I need some time to myself. Also, stop explaining. A simple no, I can't is enough. You don't owe people an explanation. You don't owe everyone an explanation. There are some people that you definitely need to explain to, but you don't owe everyone an explanation. Number 3, stand firm. People will test your boundaries. Don't fold. If you say no and then give in, they would assume you didn't mean it. Yep. And finally, drop the guilt. You are not responsible for how somebody else feels about your boundaries. Protecting yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. Like I said, people protect themselves, not you. So you are going to have to take care of you. Very important. Setting boundaries is about self-respect and not selfishness. If somebody makes you feel guilty for having self-respect, it probably means you really needed self-respect. If somebody makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries, then you really need that boundary. So, repeat after me. I am allowed to say no. I am allowed to put myself first, and I don't have to feel bad for it. All right, that's all for today. I really, really hope I'm not talking with a passive tone. I want to sleep, but sleep is not coming. Yeah, that's all for today. Hope you set one boundary this week, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, I love you now and always. Bye.